4, 3.
Hey guys, this is a Gambit 26 I did a few days ago. In this comp we were running a rogue, so the rogue could help, funnel the relics a bit, because usually when we play Hunter and Warlock, I'm the only one who has to do it, because the only thing that their Ray knows how to do is AoE. The plan here was to kill WoW and go to first boss. This was Tyrannical, so we want to have bloodlust for all 3 bosses, and I think this is the best way to do so. So I did a combination of my single target and AoE rotation here. I did 1 Arcane Blast, 1 Arcane Plus, 1 Arcane Explosion, Arcane Barrage, Arcane Orb, Arcane Explosion. And I only used my 45 seconds here to be sure to have my full CDs on full with bloodlust for the first boss. Almost died here, but luckily I didn't. Of course, the Warlock was pumping because he's Mr. AoE in this group. I'm just trying to, do a bit damage to the mobs that are not dying yet, since I can do more single target than other classes, so we can skip faster. I didn't blink here because when you use a spell with the WoW buff, it takes you out of stealth for a second. So if I would have blinked here to go away for the quaking, it would have break the stealth, and I would have, pulled everything. I had my invis, but it was just safer to, stay next to them. As you can see, I'm doing Arcane Explosions, and it breaks my invis for 1 second. Here, since we had the rogue, I tried to, blast as fast as possible on the boss, maybe to get the funnel with the 3 relics on it. As you can see, I'm trying to do my CDs as fast as possible, using my ratio as well to get my barrage faster. I got it, I critted as well, so I'm pumping damage. What I'm doing here is I alter and blink, and then I alter back, to be able to continue casting even when the thing is following me. So as you can see, the purifying cycle, or sanitizing cycle, sorry, is coming soon. So what I decided to do is just do my 30 seconds here.
Special coming.
Okay, I didn't use it fully because I thought I was not gonna get my barrage off, but with usually, as you can see, my AP is almost back up. The Paladin didn't have the the right weak aura, so he just put in chat what it is. Or maybe my weak aura was bugging, but I strongly doubt it. So right now I almost have AP back, I'm just farming my stacks again. I also have a doubt proc, so I'm looking at it for extra 10% intel. And right now, I'm trying to pump the boss. Quaking almost cocked me there. This Warlock is pumping very hard for this to be a single target boss. The Rogue was doing a bit less damage, I thought, but like it's a Rogue, right? He should do some single target. Luckily also we had a Shaman, which helps a lot on this boss for the kicks on the Volt Purifiers, because if that cast goes off, then it usually one-shots somebody.
Shockwave.
Like me or the Rogue. Sanitizing cycle is coming in 10 seconds, almost the same timer as my Touch of the Magi, but you will see that the timer in DBM is actually for the start of his cast. So like, look, right now 0, and now he goes towards it, So you have like 2 or 3 more seconds after the DBM timer to finish whatever CD you're doing at that particular time. I'm just waiting for the Paladin to tell us where it is. And I have AP back up, which is, in my opinion, going to line up a bit with the guards. I'm not that sure, and the boss doesn't have that much HP, only 35%, so I'm going to AP again to be sure I have AP again for the pool after boss, because it's a big pool. So I'm going to use it now, and maybe I'll get to use my 45 seconds again, or maybe not. This boss is a bit weird for Arcane CDs. I got a crit as well, luckily. I'm doing Arcane Explosions here just to pad a bit on the ads, because if we get too many ads, it can be very scary. I'm doing exactly the same trick as I did in the first phase. I'm altering, blinking, and altering back. And here I'm using my 30 seconds because since my EP was a bit delayed, I didn't think I had time to use my Touch of the Magi. I see my Touch of the Magi is coming in 1 second. If I use it now, it's going to explode after he starts the sanitizing cycle, and it won't do any damage.
Special coming.
So yeah, we have to try to finish the ads though before, like as fast as possible, so we can put this in. Luckily, this also lines up with the timer that Paladin has to do the console. It's quaking, so I can't cast anything. Now I have AP back up, but it only has 500 HP, so I'm just going to use my 30 seconds only. I'm not even going to use Barrage because I don't think I'm gonna have time to build again my my stacks before the boss dies, and I really want 18 stacks for the beginning of the next pull. Now as you can see, almost everything is coming back up, so my ruby's almost ready. I have AP, Radiant Spark is 4 seconds of cooldown. Even my potion is back in 20 seconds, so I prayed that I could use it, that the tank is gonna waste maybe a few seconds, so I can have it for this pull. So it's in 10 seconds now. What I'm doing is I'm waiting for quaking, and now I'm targeting one of the mobs that has most HP. And I got my potion right before my barrage. So my barrage critted twice, pretty hard. As you can see, I'm first DPS here and the mobs are dying pretty fast. It's Tyrannical as well, so mobs don't have that much HP. After this, just doing some Arcane Explosions, since it's like really valuable in this type of situations. Like the ads have really low HP and there are like 6 to 7 targets, so just waiting until I can get my CDs back up. Now they're up, but mobs are almost dead, so what I'm doing in 2 target situations is I'm using Arcane Missiles. That's what does most damage. Except I stayed in for the frontal. Sometimes we do mistakes, guys, you know, they're not all perfect runs. They're not all runs with high DPS either, so I just fucked up there. I didn't think, I forgot there was a frontal hit me. That's life. So I lost my foot buff here. I use Rune again and Arcane Intellect, so you know, only my foot buff is what's missing. I have to do my stacks, and as you can see, AP is almost off cooldown, so I'm trying to get a clear casting procs to do both my stacks faster and to get my AP back up faster, so that I can, you know, AP again. The faster you can AP back up, think about it this way: if you CD more times in the dungeon, you do more damage. That's why I'm trying to, you know, use AP on cooldown. And not necessarily wait for a big pull or something like that. We have pretty short CDs as Arcane again, so try to use them as often as possible. And right now I have my Touch of the Magi coming back up in 12 seconds. The plan here was to go to the left back first and then go to the right back and kill Vice, so we can have the extra haste buff for the boss. So I'm just using my basic AoE rotations, 45 seconds here, 2 Arcane Explosions, 1 Arcane Barrage, Arcane Orb, Arcane Barrage. Tracking, of course, with my Radiant Spark debuff Weak Aura that I'm doing the right spells at the right time. I think the Weak Auras that I use and the ones that I linked them all in my Arcane Mythic Class guide are very useful for especially people who want to try to play Arcane or are playing Arcane or Mage for the first time, because they help you track that your rotation is right, you know, especially the Radiant Spark debuff. So what's happening here is I'm making sure that Vi dies, so I'm not using my 45 seconds, neither my AP. We have boss on as the next pull, and I know I said I have to AP more times, but I'm here for the single target, so if I don't have AP on pool and I troll using AP on this 4 ad pool, it's like actually, you know, not that great. I also swapped targets here accidentally, so you know my 30 seconds didn't really mean much, but as you can see, I'm not doing damage almost at all without using Touch of the Magi, with only Radiant Spark and and Rune of Power. Getting my mana back up, I can see my rubies ready, my mirror images are ready for pool. Bloodlust is not ready, but that's not an issue. I'm praying to the rogue. I'm telling him to focus cause I don't have that much mana right now, and really needs to die for me to be able to do damage on the boss, because I don't have either mana, either evocation. So, you know, I'm using my mirror images here, using my ruby on the low health target, and now engaging into the boss.
Chest of gold to whoever brings me their tongue.
I got the funnel of 2 of them, so that buffed my Arcane Barrage considerably, as you can see. Unluckily for me, we got Vi. You can call that my mistake because I didn't focus the relics at all, but I think it's worth it. I'm still doing 60k damage, like 25 seconds into the pool. Yeah, that was my mistake. Since Vi is also a bit scary because he like shoots people and he can also one-shot you with this frontal, I'm trying to kill it as fast as possible. But right now I have my 45 seconds coming back up, and I have no mana because evocation is on cooldown. I'm still going to do it, I think. I don't know why I did an Arcane Explosion there. I used Arcane Missiles to get stacks on the Radiant Spark debuff because I had absolutely no mana for Arcane Blast. That was a big mistake of me, and the only solution that I saw is to do Arcane Missiles to do 2 or 3 Radiant Spark debuffs for my Barrage, because that's where most of my damage comes from anyways. I use Evocation, but I still don't have much mana, because if I start spamming Arcane Missiles here with Bloodlust and with the vibe buff, I will go super fast. I'm just trying to build my stacks, and I have CDs ready now. I'm not using my clear casting proc, as you can see, because I want to use it after my CDs in the Touch of the Magi window. So 4 Arcane Blasts, 1 Barrage after a short break, and now I can use Arcane Missiles, and you can see I do so much more damage. I'm still doing 20k on this boss. That was nice.
Time is on our side.
But this Warlock was actually pumping in single target as well. He was really good.
Cannons, fire!
I don't have much mana here again, so what I'm doing is just literally waiting for my CDs. So yeah guys, that's what happens when you don't kill as Arcane in single target and you don't start with Evocation at least ready and not a lot of mana. You're like struggling throughout this whole fight. I'm also slowing and sheeping, you know, the targets that the tank doesn't manage to kill with the frontal. You have to help the team here with whatever you can. The shaman uses his Earthbind totem or his slow totem. We have a spell that's literally called slow, and it's super easy to use, so yeah, don't hesitate to use that. I have AP coming back up with Ruby, but the boss is almost dead, so what I decide to do is again just use my 45 seconds. I used my Barrage here because I had 2 clear casting procs, so as you can see I can redo my stacks really fast. Like I did them in 3 globals. I thought the hook was on me, that's why I blocked. Like from the angle I was looking at, it could have looked as if it was on me. I didn't look in the chat to see that the hook was on the shaman, so I just blocked for nothing, but I guess that was alright. I told them that I had big CDs ready, so the plan here was to ship the Inspired and take the pack with the rest of the 2 ads.
Must you hound my every step?
You cannot control this power.
So yeah, I'm using again all CDs here, so I'm pre-using mirror images to not get aggro. Ruby, sadly Quaking comes in right in the middle of my CDs, but
Your
I'm
cartel has dissolved
orientating
into
myself so that my arcane
I
orb doesn't
choose
pull
to
something.
lead
As you can see,
mine
it
to
went really
glory.
far. It could have pulled a pack to the left, to the right, or even one of the two single target mobs. So you really have to watch out for that as well when you play arcane. Not to hit shit with your arcane orb because it travels 40 yards. It's super far. It sometimes goes on walls. It's super random. Unlike frozen orb, which doesn't even go downstairs sometimes, arcane orb is I don't know, it feels like it's a bit more mobile, let's call it that way. I have my 45 seconds coming back up here, so the plan is, you know, to use them on the stars here. I think I trolled again here by dying, I'm not really sure. Pulsar is coming. If the tank would have gone on the pulsar fast, I critted as well. The pulsar would have died so fast. Luckily, I think it was the rogue or the warlock. They had some CDs for it, so it died fast as well. But if you use your CDs, either AP, either only your 4-5 seconds on pull on the Starseer, always you're gonna get your Touch of the Magi to explode on the pulsar. Like it has like 2, 3, 4 seconds, let's say, when the pulsar is being cast. So then the tank just needs to drag it on it, and it dies super fast. I was trying to tell the tank that I have AP coming back up, so really big single target damage, so maybe he wants to take the other Starseer after this, you know, and then maybe do the same strat and get Vi for the boss or something, because I'm going to delete this guy. Sadly, we got the Pulsar at 0.4% health on the Starseer, but the Shaman was really good as well with the healing, and it was Tyrannical, so we didn't die here. I really wanted to go there, but he didn't, and I had to use my EP, especially since I had my Ruby back up, so I just did. I used Ruby on the mob that was almost dead. 2 Arcane Explosions, 1 Arcane Barrage, Arcane Orb, Arcane Barrage. I got 2 crits. I didn't use Mirror Images there because I didn't think about it, I forgot about it, honestly. But I didn't have that much aggro on everything, so I managed to use Invis before would kill me. Because hurts a lot in melee. The plan here, I think what the tank thought is we can kill at the same time that the Starseer will cast a Pulsar, right? It wasn't really the case because he casted the frontal first, but as you can see I have my 45 seconds coming back up, so I know that I can kill the Pulsar like faster. But we actually had the buff, the ending of the buff during that pulsar, which was great. Also, I used my 4-5 seconds at the beginning of the buff, so as you can see my cooldowns are greatly reduced. I almost have AP back up and Touch on the Magi and everything, ready for boss pull. Yeah, so right now, you know, I'm trying not to burn too much mana. I have though to try to kill this thing, so what I'm gonna do is just evocate and pray that we get the right one. This is a strat I've never seen before. Playing the boss there. It's for the ads to spawn in melee. I didn't know they do spawn in melee if that happens, but that's what happened, and that was absolutely great. Also for my CDs, I waited that the ads would spawn, so instead of using the funnel on the boss with the 3 relics, I use them with and the 2 ads, so it's the same amount of funnel and you have lesser risk to kill the wrong orb. You might consider playing Slipstream in this dungeon because Slipstream on this boss is actually really good instead of Shimmer. But I'm too used to play Shimmer to not play it, so I'm still playing it. Ads are back up again with my 4-5 second CD, so that's great because they line up. As you can see, I got my funnel again on this with the 2 ads, so doing 30% more damage on the boss with my barrage. I didn't crit, and it's only my 45 second CDs, but that still, you know, helps a lot with the damage. The boss phase is at around 40%, so what we're trying to do is phase it before he does the 3rd star, because if we overlap a star and the phase, it's super hard.
Ads
We
coming.
also were really lucky that we didn't have to use CRs yet on the other
Special
bosses,
coming.
because CRs on this boss are really useful. As you can see, we have 2 CRs left. You can see it on the top left-ish of my screen. And there's a 3rd CR coming back up soon, because this boss is actually super hard.
Special
It's
coming.
also, again, not that great for arcane timers, arcane CD timers. You are going to see why. So yeah, the boss is like almost phasing right now. 1% off, and as you can see, it phased right now, right before the orb and right before the assassin spawn. Don't be in melee with the boss when he does this,
Special coming.
because you die. If you're in melee, if you're under the boss, that already happened to me once or twice. Here you have to look for the arrow, of course, to put it through the orbs, and then you can tank it on the side to more easily dodge, you know, the this thing. So then as you can see, I used the Arcane Orb before my Touch of the Magi. Why? Because I was in Quaking, and waiting for Quaking and then using Touch of the Magi was a risk for me to not have enough time to do 4 globals before my barrage in the Radiant Spark window, which I did before Quaking. So what I decided to do is Radiant Spark. At the end of Quaking, I just did an Arcane Orb, which doesn't require me to cast, and then I did a Touch of the Magi. I didn't lose any damage on it, to be honest, by doing that. I use Invis here for the 60% damage reduction. Don't forget to use Invis as a defensive. It's a great defensive and it has a really short cooldown. As you can see, the boss is going to phase in 11 seconds. Power overwhelming, so I'm not using AP here because I don't want to troll and do no damage, because the boss during this phase, so while he casts this thing, he takes no damage, or like his damage is reduced by like 90% or something like that. So I don't want to use AP here, you know. Also, Bloodlust was coming back up, so I was just waiting for this phase to be over and us to come back to Bloodlust, use Ruby and use all my CDs.
At my command.
Sadly, I had a Quaking, but because I was in Bloodlust, I still managed to get my 2 clear casting procs out, even 3 of them. As you can see, my arcane missiles are critting for 7k each tick, which is a lot. Like, you have a clear casting proc, and you cast out how many of them are, you know, 8 I think, arcane missiles with the clear casting proc, and they each hit for 7k if they crit. Like, you can do up to 56k. With just 1 clear casting proc, which you cast in 1 second during Bloodlust. That's a lot of damage, especially in Touch of the Magi, so that the damage accumulates. I'm risking using my 45 seconds here. The same situation happened. I had Radiant Spark and then Quaking was up, so I used Arcane Orb to trigger 1 Radiant Spark spell. So as you can see here,
Special coming.
my barrage hit for a lot, but my Touch of the Magi did like 200 damage or something like that, because it was during the phase. So this is a perfect example of what you shouldn't do. Imagine I had CDs right now, I could use, and then I had to wait for the other phase to be over to use it again. The Warlock is really good at dodging those. As you can see, he's not, you know, stressing about it at all. He's just chilling there. He's the one who's soaking for the healer. So I'm using again my Invis here. I can see power overwhelming is in 20 seconds, so I have time to use my CDs before he phases. I'm praying that I crit as well, but I didn't because I didn't have Ruby up, so I was only up to 29.8% crit.
The power of the first ones. Mine to control.
Sadly here, the Warlock died, so he soaked the thing, and so he was spotted, right? Because he's playing Dreamweaver, I think it is. And because he's spotted, he doesn't get an arrow, so we only had 4 arrows here. And now also the Warlock, sorry, the Rogue vanished, which makes the cast reset again, so that like made it go be so long. I tried to step in the link there to share off my... I was full HP because I blocked, and the other ones were lower HP. So I tried to go in the Spirit Lake Totem so that I could share my, you know, HP with others and heal them a bit. Boss is almost dead, so this was really good. We didn't have any deaths during this boss, and the only death was me dying to the frontal of those mobs, so we basically had no deaths in this run. This was a really, really clean run. Our overalls are not that high, but it's because we haven't played this part yet. So at the end, after last boss, we can teleport back here. We're doing this route to have, again, to have Bloodlust on all bosses, because we don't need Bloodlust to play, you know, big pulls here, since it's Tyrannical, and we have a Warlock and a Rogue to stun scale binders from casting Fish Sticks.
Crowd control.
So there aren't as many ads here. There's like, I don't know, 6 or 5 ads left, so I'm using my first single target rotation here. And they also have like pretty much HP, like a lot of HP left, since we only have a Warlock for AoE. We don't have a Warlock and a Hunter, so me doing, you know, 2 Arcane Explosions, Barrage or Barrage rotation is fine. The only time I would do 4 Arcane Explosions into Barrage is when ads are about to die, or if we have like a lot of AoE, so maybe I wouldn't have time to do my second barrage on my main target if that target dies first, because the AoE is too strong. Scalebinder is almost dead, as you can see. I mean, it had like 40% HP, so I'm deciding to target one mob which has the most HP, the Shell Crusher here, for my 45-second CDs.
I'm procking your proc, dude. Look at my dips.
I'm still not doing that much damage because I didn't have AP on pull on the first pull, and this is a pull we chained. So yeah, I'm below the tank, below the rogue here. It can be again a bit underwhelming, but like we're all here to help. Damage is of course important, but you're going to see it's not like the way you use your damage is also very important, and that's what we excel as Arcane, controlling where do we put our damage. My AP, as you can see, is coming back up, and these ads are almost dead. It's like a bit sad, but I have to use AP because if I wait here, these ads are gonna die in a long time. So I'm trying to use my first rotation, but as you can see, ads die like super fast. It's not really worth it, but I haven't, like, it's not optimized, let's say, because my CDs don't line up to how do we pull packs. But it doesn't matter because we only have 3 minutes left to play around, I don't know, 20%, 23% it is. So I'm just using AP as fast as possible. That's why I used AP there, by the way. It's because we had like 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. That meant I could use AP, Rune, AP, Rune, AP before the dungeon is over. Because Arcane Power has 1 minute 30 second cooldowns, or at least we're using it once every 1 minute and 30 seconds. So if you have over 33 minutes left, it means you can use Arcane Power 3 more times in the dungeon, right? Again here, I used my my Touch of the Magi on cooldown for the same reason, to be sure to have like as many CDs as possible left for this dungeon, to be sure we time it. I forgot though about the relics. So you know, killing Air makes us have cooldown reduction, which, you know, helps us like CD more often. I couldn't use my orb here because it's used in my rotation, so I didn't do Radiant Spark into orb. I just used my AP. I had the Doubt proc, but like the ads are almost dead, so like turning for it and not being able to, you know, do Arcane Missiles maybe was not worth it. I should have turned, actually, I think, because then I would have had the buff for this set of CDs. So as you can see, we have 1 minute and 15 seconds left of like before timer is over, and my cooldowns have like 37 seconds is on Touch of the Magi, and I'm trying to you know, get it back up with Arcane Power at the same time. So I'm fishing for clear casting procs to use them, but I think this was enough percent. That's why I wasn't really, you know, doing Arcane Missiles, because we just need to kill these 3 ads and then we have enough percent. I used alter time there to not die, and luckily we timed it. My overall was not great, had the same overall as Rogue, even a bit under it. But again, you know, we are support DPS. If you play in a team where you're not on voice, this was no voice. Like you're bound at some point to have low damage if you're not coordinated perfectly. Arcane requires to have for Arcane to do damage, it requires your team to play around it and around its CDs, and it's what we didn't do here. But sometimes it's not worth it playing around, you know, just Warlock CDs is enough because they pump much more than we do. Thank you guys for watching, and see you on the next one.